Well, good morning again, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Mr.
Good to be
Chairman.
back again. The days are ticking away, aren't they? We did get the agree to disagree completed in the House, and I did confirm with the reviser that we have that in committee to go ahead and finalize that. I did want to, we're talking about House Bill 2465. And that was the Senate Bill 498 and House Bill 2757, kind of the adoption tax credit, the pregnancy resource centers. I did, when I was reading through that, I wanted to kind of confer with my health experts. I'm a tax guy, I'm a numbers guy. I'm not too up to speed on all the health terms, but in visiting with some of the health experts, really feel that we need to include a definition for the healthcare provider in the bill. I think currently it says, I believe the language is licensed medical professional, but I have, it's not our reviser, one of the health revisers has worked on a definition to change that term to, well, just a second, let me read this. I just got the email, so I apologize. Let me review, make sure I'm telling you correctly. Okay, if you don't mind, this looks like this was just a draft email, so if we could come back to this. I do have some other points I need to have you consider on 2096 and 2098 again. So we might put 2465 aside for a moment. Going back to 2098, kind of our sales tax exemption bill, in discussing this with some of the veterans get this rating letter from the VA, tells them their determination on what percentage disability they have, whether they are employable or unemployable due to those disabilities, whether the disability is considered a total and permanent disability. And with your leave, I'd like to have you consider, because we changed the sales tax exemption for veterans to 100%. I wanted to see if you would be willing to also include in that definition 100% or totally disabled or unemployable. It's my understanding, after seeing some of these examples of these letters that have been sent to me, and I'm not a veterans expert at all, but your rating, your percentage rating from the VA, you can actually be considered, due to your disability, you can be considered at less than 100%, but if that disability is severe enough, even though it's not 100%, you're considered unemployable, you're unable to work. So it was kind of my impression or my intent on this legislation and with the refund piece that we try to help out these veterans that are unable to work, probably the ones that need it the most. Veterans, they're all deserving. All veterans, whether they're disabled, whether they're 50%, or any degree, they're all very deserving. But I wanted to make sure we focus this towards probably the ones that need it the most, that are unable to be employed. So I just wanted to offer that for your consideration. I didn't want to leave anybody out unintentionally.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll discuss it and get back to you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, we do have a question for you. And what we're trying to understand is the, if a veteran, we had the language totally and permanently disabled in the homestead, the property tax.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we're not losing any of those. Do we have to have that language also, is what we're trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out, it's a Venn diagram here,
Right.
and we're making sure we get the right group.
Yes,
Thanks.
and it's my understanding that for the sales tax exemption, anyone who is rated at 100% is what's currently in the bill, like to include, or we would like to propose including totally disabled. And because totally disabled, you can have an infirmity that, whether it's a sickness or a disease that would potentially get better, so you would not be totally and permanently disabled. Permanent disability would be loss of hands or feet or the use thereof. So I think if we put totally in there, we don't have to put the permanently, because it would just be anybody that had that designation. When your status is updated from the VA, you get a new rating letter from them that I assume the Department of Revenue would need to have on file to qualify for this. But just proposing that we include the totally disabled, and then also the ones that may not have that total disability, but they are considered unemployable. I was visiting with Representative Sawyer before, and you would think that if you were unemployable, that would relate, or that would constitute total disability. It doesn't always do that, just the way the formula works. So didn't want to leave anybody out. As they analyze your disabilities, you could technically have a 90% disability, but due to the nature of the disability, you are considered unemployable. As the VA is concerned, you actually get paid as if you were 100%, and the benefits are the same, but your actual rating is not. And I didn't want to leave any wiggle room there where the Department of Revenue could say, well, you're not 100% disabled, so you don't qualify for this. So just requesting on the sales tax that we include totally disabled and also unemployable.
Okay, if you'd give us just a minute. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We were just making sure we had the right Venn diagram again, and we appreciate your efforts on this and think it's a good amendment.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else on 2098 that we would have to adjust? Okay. Just want to make sure we get everything exactly the way we want it.
No, I appreciate the diligence, and I think that we're good on it. The
Okay.
revisers didn't have any questions when they were putting it together. Okay.
Okay. Then my apologies, but if you wanted to turn back to 2096 on the same thing with the veterans, just including the language unemployable, as I think right now we have totally and permanently, and then including the unemployable language in case there are some that are considered unemployable but don't have that total disability rating.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And now, did get clarification from the reviser that emailed that to me. I might have Adam or Amelia, if you want to read through that, or I've got it on my laptop too. I can read what the definition that we're proposing on 2465.
This would change the definition of healthcare provider. Is that what we're, okay. Currently, I believe the term in the bill uses the word medical professional. In lieu of medical professional, the term healthcare provider would be used, and this would be defined as an individual licensed, registered, or certified by either the State Board of Healing Arts, the Board of Nursing, or the Behavioral Sciences Regulatory Board.
Thank you. If I could explain a little bit further, kind of what we were trying to avoid was trying to list out every single profession that's in here. So by defining it with kind of the licensed or registration or certification, that includes, you don't have to list out chiropractors, physicians, ultrasound technologists, I mean, all the different levels of professions within those registrations. So that's, I think, what all the parties have kind of agreed upon, and we'd like to offer that as a final amendment for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll agree to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else that's outstanding that we need to take care of? Okay. I do want to announce at this point, we will have another conference committee at 1 o'clock tentatively for House Bill 2097, I believe. I'm not sure if the conferees have been appointed on the Senate side. They have been, okay.
They have been, and yes, so you can negotiate with Senator Peck on
Yes, I believe Senator Peck will be taking the lead on that one, but just wanted to announce that we'll be back here in this room at 1 o'clock, Senator, if that's still going to work with your folks. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. It's always, it's been a pleasure, Senator, working with you.
It has. Thank you very much.